you'll be able to get your result. And I've for your class especially, I've come across a lot of plagiarized sentences from the internet. For your information, your exam is not an open book test or not an open internet test. Okay, so I'm actually weighing, right, or contemplating whether I need to give 0 for your essay or how. I'm still deciding, all right? I'm still deciding. So if you have copied, okay, it doesn't matter actually because this is examination and this is not an open internet test or open book test. So you are not allowed to refer to the internet. However, if you have referred, even you're just taking the idea from the internet, that's still considered wrong because this is examination. If you have done that, then just be prepared. All right. Because I'm checking your essays and I could see that you have first paragraph, right? Your introduction is superb, no error at all. Going to your second paragraph, no error at all. But when it comes to your last paragraph, I could see your actual English, which is your English is here and there. All right. So I know that you have not used your own words when you're writing your essay. This one requires a lot of what they say, a lot of self-control. Okay, you need to control yourself. You need to control yourself because this is gonna be, who knows? Maybe you're coming back to school in October. Maybe you're not coming back to school. Maybe you'll sit for your SPMRSM online. You need to have that self-control, right? Because no one else knows, but you yourself, right, definitely knows whether you are copying from the internet or not. Okay, so having said that, again, like I said, by Sunday, hopefully, inshallah, you'll be getting your result. Let's check on your attendance, yeah? Let's check on your attendance. Let me see. Do we have Haziq? Haziq, do you hear Haziq?
Yes, sir.
Haziq? Okay, good. Haziq is here. Let me see. Do we have Aisha, Katrina? Aisha Kat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anisafia?
Yes, sir.
All right. Faid? Faid?
Yes, sir.
All right. Fatin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Myra?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nazhan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Daniel Faris? Faris?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hafiz Shami?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ifas? Ifas? I'm not sure if Ifas is here or not yet. All right, moving on to Iman. Iman Haris?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Suhi?
Yes, sir.
All right. So he's here. Moving on, Shahrin is here. Nasrun?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Nasrun is here. Aisha Izati?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Najwa? All right. Shakira?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Aida?
Yes, sir.
Siti Aisyah?
Yes, sir.
And Suraika?
Yes, sir.
Wait, Siti Aisyah? Whose profile picture is that? That's not your teacher,
Shakira.
right? Oh, why? She's your idol.
Because it is her birthday.
Yes, sir.
Oh, really? When? Today?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Ah, Happy birthday, Shakira. You are 17 officially. All right.
Thank you, sir.
No problem at all. All right, so we don't have Ifas yet with us at the moment, but Ifas is in with us in the class. So I believe he's with us. However, I will be calling for his name. Okay, today, all right, apart from vocabulary one that I asked you to do, I also asked you to look for information about future tense. Okay, future tense. So when it comes to future tense, how many tenses are there in future tense? Can anyone tell me? You can put it in the chat room. How many tenses are there in future tense? You can refer to your textbook if you want to. All right. How many types of future tenses? All right, Siti Asha says 3. Okay. Right, she thinks it's 3. What about the rest of you? How many types of tenses are there in future tense? Okay, Faiz says 4. Right, Asha Cat says 4. What are the tenses? Zulaika says 3. Najwa says 4. Okay, can you list down what are the tenses in future tense? The name, all right? The name of the tenses in future tense. Okay, Aisha Cat says, future simple, right? Number 1, future continuous. 2, future perfect. 3, future perfect continuous. Right, so like I says 4, sir. All right. So yes, Aisha Cat, you have the right answer. Future simple, future continuous, future perfect, and also future perfect continuous. Okay, what are these? What are these tenses and how to use them? Okay, and when we know how to use them, we need to know how to construct them. How do we put them in sentences? All right. So I hope you have looked into some of the informations, especially on how you construct them. All right, what you need to have and what you don't need to have. All right. The notes that you might have gotten from the internet, plus the one in your book, plus the one that I'm going to show you later. Hopefully, you're going to combine all this information and it will increase or it will help you to better understand what future tense is. Right, now, future tense, all right, is used to talk about the future. What's in the future? We talk about actions, action that happens in the future, right? So let me start my presentation. Please get ready to jot down notes, okay? There might be some extra information from my presentation here. All right. Future tense. There are 4 tenses under future tense. There are future simple, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Now, when it comes to the tenses, one thing that you should have in your mind is whether the action is ongoing or has completed. Whether the action is still ongoing or has completed. Now, when it says ongoing, right, not just for future tense, but for present tense, for past tense, whenever you see the word continuous, all right, we have present continuous, we have past continuous. Now we have future continuous. Continuous means the action is ongoing. Okay, ongoing means there is a duration. All right, there is a duration from what time to what time. There is a duration ongoing. When it says the action has already complete, okay, in tenses you will come across the word perfect. Perfect means the action has complete. All right, the action has completed. If you still remember, we went through past perfect and past perfect continuous. All right, we talked about an action that had already completed before another action in the past. You need to look at your note again. Okay, for future perfect continuous. All right, later we'll go into into detail what they are. But the word perfect here means the action has completed. Okay. All right. Let's look at the first type or the first category of future tense. We call it future simple. Future simple. Now, when to use future simple? Okay. I will share this, this note here with you, right, after the class. So don't worry too much about it if you're not able to copy, all right, some of the notes here. So why use future simple? Future simple is used for an action that will occur in the future, all right? It will occur in the future. And there is no time. No time is specified. When I say time here, it means we're talking about time expression. All right, you can go back to your note on past perfect continuous. You will look. All right, we have discussed what time expression is. Okay, time expression tells us when it happened. Yesterday. All right. 2 hours ago, when it comes to past. When it comes to the future, okay, tomorrow, for example, all right, the word tomorrow is a time expression. So no time is specified. In your note, in your textbook on page 63, not 63, 60, 61. If you look at your textbook on page 60, there are other reasons why we use future simple. Okay, why we use future simple. All right, there are 5 reasons there. You can read that on your own. All right, but I need to highlight. You use it for when you make decision. Okay, decision at the time of speaking. All right, you use future simple. When you use it to predict, all right, but there's no evidence that it would happen, right? It's just a prediction. So you use future simple. There are a few examples here. On the textbook, you can have a look. All right. When it comes to future simple, all right, normally there would be 2, right? There would be 2 ways on how you can write this. You will either use the word will, okay, or be going to. These 2, all right, are used when it comes to future simple, or when you are writing future simple. You either use will, or you use be going to. Now let's look at the construction of the future simple, how you construct, all right? What is the formula? All right, if you look at the one here, okay, this is the formula. The first one would be when you use will. Okay, when you use will in a sentence, of course, before that you have the subject. Okay, you have the subject, but I'm leaving out the subject. Okay, so it's going to be subject plus will. Okay, plus the base form of the verb. Now, when I say base form, all right, base form would be verb without ed. You don't have ed, all right? You don't have s in the verb. Okay, so base form would be the root word of the verb. If the verb is talk, all right, it's talk. You are using will, so it becomes will talk. We don't have will talked. All right, so that's what a base form of the verb is. Okay. All right. Let's move on. If let's say we are using going to, right? Be going to. Be here, all right, means the verb to be. All right, verb to be. When it comes to future simple, all right, when it comes to future simple, the verb to be that we use are, all right, that we use are, would be is, would be are, would be am. Okay, these three. We would use am, is, or are. Plus going to. So for example, I am going to. We are going to. All right. He is going to. Plus the base form of the verb. Okay, this would be the formula. Clear, people? When it comes to future simple. Can I move on? If you have any questions, you want to stop me in the middle, please do so. All right. Okay, let's move on. For me, when it comes to grammar, all right, instead of memorizing, okay, instead of memorizing the formula and stuff, you know, I like to learn English myself. This is for me. I'm not sure about you people, but for me, I love to learn grammar through sample sentences. Okay, so let's look at a few examples of sentences. All right, and just by looking, we can make sense of how we are going to use future simple. Let's have a look at the first one here. Okay, all Form 5 students, oh, there is something wrong here. Sorry, students. All Form 5 students will sit for SPM examination in March. Okay. So what is this? If you look at your textbook on page 61, all right, under future simple, point number 4. To talk about future facts. So this is a future fact. All right, this is a fact. You will sit for SPM. All right, you will sit for SPM on in March. So you use will sit. Okay, will sit. So this one here, all right, answers the bullet point number 4 in your textbook to talk about future facts. Let's look at the second example. We will win. You have the will, and then the verb here is written in the base form. We will win. Will win this tournament. We will win this tournament. Okay, this one here, if you look at the textbook, this one answers bullet point number 2. Prediction with no evidence. All right, this is a prediction with no evidence. This is just you making a prediction that you will win the tournament. All right, maybe you lose, but this is you making a prediction without evidence. Yeah, without evidence. Let's look at going to. All right, I am going to buy a new car. If you look at your textbook, all right, under be going to, it talks about future plans and intention as well as things we expect to happen in the near future, okay, because of something in the present. Look at the word because of something in the present. So you're saying, I'm going to buy a new car, okay? I'm going to buy a new car. It means this is your future plan, all right? And you are for sure going to have this, all right? You're for sure going to buy a new car because in the present, you don't have a car. Okay, so there is an evidence in the present, right? There is an evidence in the present saying that you don't have a car. So it would be better if you say, I am going to buy a new car rather than I will buy a new car, all right? Some people, they will use will, all right? They will use will. Some people, you know, a lot of people there are confused. They treat will and going to as the same, okay? But in reality, they are not the same, right? If let's say you put here, I will buy a new car. This one, all right, if you look at your textbook, everybody look at your textbook, under future simple, bullet point number 1, decision made at the time of speaking. Right? I will buy a new car. I will buy a new car. So imagine a situation where you are now standing in front of a shop selling cars. Okay, you have picked your cars, or you haven't picked your car, but you have seen your car. Your car is in front of you. So you tell your friend, all right, you tell your friend, Abu, I will buy a new car. Okay, so that is a decision that you made at the time of speaking. But whether you're going to buy or not, all right, it may happen, it may not happen. All right, it may happen, it may not happen, because there's no evidence in the present saying that you really need a car. But when you say, I am going to buy a new car, you tell your friend, Abu, I am going to buy a new car. All right? And Abu knows that there's a higher chance that you will buy the car. Because in the present, there is an evidence that you really need a car. All right? I'll give you another example, yeah? All right? Let me write another example. I will punch you. I will punch you. Right? Compare that with I am going to punch you. Now, what's the difference? The difference would be in the context. Okay, the context. I will punch you. All right. Let's say we have two people, right? Two people, they are fighting. And this is A, this is B. Okay, A says to B, I will punch you. Okay, I will punch you. That is your decision at the time to punch him. However, it may happen, it may not happen. Okay, this is a decision that comes only from your mouth. I will punch you. But when A says, I am going to punch you, okay, I am going to punch you, that context means as you say this, your hand is already moving towards B's face. If you're punching his face, right? All right. So we say, I'm going to punch you. Your hand is already moving to punch. Okay. Because there is an evidence in the present, which is when you say this, your hand is already moving toward his face. Okay, clear, everyone? How to use will, how to use am going to. Yes, no? Please respond in the chat room, people. Okay, all right. So from now on, you can use, will, right? Like you're sitting for exam and you're telling yourself, right? You're telling yourself, I will score A in at maths. Why at maths? English. I will score A plus in English. This is you standing outside of the hall. Once you're inside, you're already sitting, and the invigilator says, okay, you can start writing. And then you are writing your essay, and then at this time you say, I'm going to score A plus for English. Because why? Because you have already started writing, and you know that you have done a good essay. So you can use I am going to. Okay. All right. Let's look at another example here. They are going to kidnap the girl. Right? The little girl. They're going to kidnap the little girl. Kidnapped. All right. So here we know that the action in the present is telling us that this little girl will soon be kidnapped. Okay. Because there's already an action. All right. There's already an action going on to show that the little girl will be kidnapped. Okay. And then we have this one here. Won't. What is won't? Now, just like other tenses, all right, just like present tense, past tense, and future tense, they have different forms. When you write them, you can write them in different forms. They have what we call affirmative forms, all right, positive. For example, the word here, we will win this tournament. This is a positive form. All right, this is a positive form. When you write this, we will win this tournament in negative form. We have another form. We call it negative form. All right, negative form. When you write it in negative form, will becomes will not. And when you put it in short form, it becomes won't. So won't is the short form of will not. Okay. What about would not? What about would not? What is the short form for would not? Thank you, Aisha Cat. Wouldn't. Okay, wouldn't. Yes, thank you, Haziq. All right, but don't forget the apostrophe. All right, Haziq. And please make sure you know where to put the apostrophe when you put the short forms. Because I've come across in your essay, not your essay, Haziq, not your essay, Aisha Cat, but in your friend's essay, all right, anonymous, names not mentioned, all right, it becomes like W-O-U-L, D, apostrophe, and T. That is wrong, okay? This is wrong. Okay, so let's go back. We have affirmative, we have negative. We also have interrogative. Question form. The question form. Meaning when you use them in the form of questions. All right. So when you use it in question forms, what would it be? All right. What would it be? The construction or the formula will not be the same like the one up here. Here you have the subject first plus will. Here you have the subject first plus be, all right, verb to be plus going to plus base form. In questions, you start with will. right? Will. You start with will first, followed by subject, right? For be going to, you start with verb to be first, followed by subject, then going to. So if let's say we want to change, we will win this tournament in question form, it will become, what is it, people? Write it down. We will win this tournament. This is in positive form, affirmative form. In question, how do we change this to a question? Yes, exactly. Thank you. Will we win this tournament? So basically, will goes here, we go here, because we is the subject. All right. So that's what happened when you change it to negative form. All right. Now, another way to learn tenses would be to look at the time frame. This is a time frame. All right. As you know, this is the time frame. This one here. This part here is past. Okay, this part here is past. This is right now. All right, the one in the middle here, right now. And here, with this right arrow here, this is future. So in future simple, the action, all right, if this is a prediction or if this is a decision, all right, it will happen in the future. And we don't know when it's going to happen in the future. It can happen any time in the future. It can happen any time in the future. All right, we don't know because it's not mentioned. The time expression is not mentioned. So it can happen in 2 minutes. It can happen in 2 seconds. It can happen, right, in any time in the future. Okay. So that is future simple. Now, if you look at your textbook, you can also see the word shall. Okay, shall. What is shall? Shall is also a part of future simple. Okay, and only 2 subjects can take shall. We have I and we. We use shall to ask for advice, or we want to make a suggestion or an offer. Okay, and using shall makes it sound a little bit formal and a little bit polite when you shall. Okay, if you're in UK, all right, the British people, they love to use shall, but when you are in US or in other countries, all right, they don't really follow the British system. They don't really use shall. They will use will. Okay, but you can use if you want to. All right, I use this all the time when I put it in the group, saying that we shall start in 2 minutes. All right, we shall start. That is me giving a suggestion. All right, that is me giving a suggestion. We shall start in 2 minutes. We shall start in 3 minutes. Okay. Can I move on, people? Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, now let's go to the second type of future tense, which is called future continuous. Now, remember the word continuous means the action, right? Because when we talk about tenses, we talk about verb, yeah? And when we talk about verb, we talk about action. Because verb is kata kerja, something that you do. So it says here continuous, meaning this action in the future, right, is ongoing. So when do we use it? We use it for an ongoing action that will occur in the future. Ongoing action that will occur in the future. And time expression is normally included. So we know, all right? And the time expression here normally deals with duration. There is a duration, all right? There is a duration. If you look back at your, at your future, what do I say, past perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, all right? And I have highlighted in the notes, all right, about certain words that when you have the word, it shows duration, all right? Words like for. This is a word that you use, okay? The word that you use when you want to talk about duration for 2 hours, for 3 hours, all right? For the whole day, for, all right? Talks about duration. So let's have a look at how you construct future continuous. Future continuous is constructed by having will be plus verb ing. All right. So you have will be plus verb ing. Now for today, I'm going to introduce to you to a terms. All right. Normally you know this as verb plus ing. All right. But in linguistics, the name for verb ing, we call it present participle. We call it present participle. What is present participle? Present participle would be all the verbs that you plus ing. Present participle is for all the verbs that you plus ing. Okay, this is just an information. Now, I believe you have heard of the words past participle. What is past participle? Can anyone help me out? What is past participle? What is past participle? Please put it in the chat room if you want to respond. Try not to refer to the internet because I know you're referring to the internet, but I just want to know. Right, we have gone through past participle. Verb that ends with ed. All right, so you have verb that plus ed. All right, what else? Is that all? Yes, exactly. It ends with en. What else? Yes, exactly. The spelling is changed. All right, spelling changes. What else? Now remember, yeah, past participle, even though you have the word past participle, it doesn't mean that the action is already in past tense. Okay. Yes, Najwa says no change. All right. Yes, no change. No change. All right. But it's not like it's not the action in the past. Yeah, not necessarily. It's just the name. All right. It's just a name. I don't know why they put past participle, making it confusing. Same goes with present participle. Nothing to do with the present actually, because you can have verb ing in past continuous. I was eating yesterday. I was eating cake yesterday. All right. Faik, I'm not really sure. Yes, yeah, that I need to look at the sentence first. Yeah, but I think you're talking about the past participle that when it is written, the spelling changes. I think that one under past participle, yes, in which the spelling changes. Okay, but it's just a name, past participle. It can be past tense, it can be present tense. Okay, it can also be future tense, depending on the type of tense, not the type of participle. Participle is just a part of it, but that it does not control whether the tense is present or past. Okay, it's just a name. So let me tell you again about past participle, because people always get this wrong. If you look at the participle, past participle that ends with ed, en, right? For example, you have talk, right? Becomes talk, right? And then you have walk, becomes walk. What kind or what type of verbs are talk and walk? What type of verb are talk and walk? When you write them in past participle, they become talk, ed, walk, ed. Come on, I'm testing you. What kind of? Thank you, Zuleika. Very good. These are called regular. Regular verb, Regular verb. And for the one that the spelling would change, or where the spelling doesn't change, what kind of verb do we call this? What do we call this? Thank you. Irregular. Irregular verb. All right, irregular verb. So go, all right, memorize the list of irregular verbs. I believe you have it in the textbook at the back, grammar reference, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. If you look at page 178, 179, these are the list of irregular verbs. Yeah, irregular verbs. Memorize them. These are the words that you need to know in Form 5. Okay. All right. So let's go back to future continuous. All right. Will be plus verb ing. Let's look at example of a few sentences here. I will be singing for an hour. I will be singing for an hour. Will, of course, you have the subject, I, plus will, be, plus verb, ing, singing, for an hour. For an hour. If you look at this, for an hour, this is the time expression. This is the time expression. Now, if you look at I will be singing for an hour in the form, in timeline, all right? The person who says, I will be singing for an hour, all right, says it here, in the present, all right? In the present, this person is saying it in the present. This person says, I will be singing for an hour. An hour, all right? And he is referring to the future. He is referring to the future. When it's going to happen in the future, it's not mentioned. When it's going to end, 2 hours. All right, we know that the singing will be for 2 hours, but we don't know when it's going to stop. So we don't know when it's going to start, when it's going to stop, but we know that it will be ongoing for 2 hours sometime in the future. That is continuous, future continuous. Can you get that, people? We don't know when it's going to start. We don't know when it's going to end. Okay. But I mean, this is the same like future simple. It's the same. Future simple, you don't know when it's going to start, when it's going to end. You know that it will happen sometime in the future. But for future continuous, the only thing that we add would be the duration. There is a duration. You know, oh, it's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen tonight. All right, the singing will happen tonight. You don't know when the person is going to start singing. You don't know when that person is going to end his singing, but he will be singing for 2 hours tonight. So if this whole place here in the future is tonight, you don't know when it's going to start. You don't know when it's going to end, but you know it will take place tonight for 2 hours. Okay, clear people? Can I move on? Am I going too fast? We have 2 more. Okay, all right. Okay, now let's look at the second part here. The man will be talking throughout the night. The man will be talking throughout the night. Okay, so the time expression here will be throughout the night. That is the time expression. Okay, the man will be talking throughout the night. You know that this will take place in the future. All right, we're talking about what happened. Let's say the person here is saying this right now in the morning. All right, and he says, hey, you know, Abu, Ali will be talking throughout the night. Tonight. If I put tonight, then it will be clearer. If I put tonight here. But without that, all right, people can make sense of the context because you are saying this in the morning, all right, and you are referring to another person and that person is going to talk throughout the night. So you know it will happen tonight. This man will be talking tonight, and we have a duration which is throughout the night. We have the duration. It can be for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, all right, non-stop tonight. It's just that we don't know when it's going to start, when it's going to end. Okay, this man will be talking throughout the night. Let's look at the third one here. Those laughing now will be crying later. Those laughing now will be crying later. What does it mean? If this is a timeline, okay, this is a timeline. So we know that later, this is later. Later is the whole future. Later here is the whole future. All right, and they will be crying. When will they cry? It can be any time. It can be any time in the future. All right. But we know when you say they will be crying, meaning the crying will be ongoing. It's not that they cry for 1 second and that's it. All right. They might cry for 2 hours, 3 hours later. All right. So we don't know when it's going to start, when it's going to end. But we know it happens in the future. All right. And the time here, the time expression here would be the word later. Later is the time expression showing future. They will be waiting for us. They will be waiting for us. Can you see any time reference or time expression here? They will be waiting for us. Is there any time expression? Yes, no? They will be waiting for us. Okay, Lailatul Humaira says no. Shahrin says no. Okay. Suhi no. Nashud no. Yes, there is no time expression here. However, okay, Okay, let me make it this way. There is no time expression written, but there is time expression as an idea. There is an idea here, all right, about future time expression. All right. Let's say the context, because you're just looking at the sentence. You don't look at the whole conversation. All right. You don't look at the whole conversation. That's why it's very dangerous, especially in social media, when people just simply take you have a video of a person giving a speech, for example, and then you just take a few part of the speech and then you post it in social media. All right, people can misunderstand the context. All right, that's why you can see a lot of people, when something went viral, all right, and then that person said, "Hey, you are taking my statement out of context." Right? So you need to look at the bigger context. So let's say if you look at the bigger context for this one here, they will be waiting for us. All right. Just imagine you have Ali and Abu. All right. And they are now, they are waiting for a bus. They want to go to KLCC because there will be a reunion in KLCC. All right. And both of them, Abu and Ali, they know that they're going to be late. So Abu tells Ali, Ali, come on, hurry up. They will be waiting for us. Okay. Let's say the reunion start at 12 o'clock. Right. And you are still there waiting for the bus at 11:55. You have 5 more minutes before the reunion starts. Okay. So you tell Ali, Ali, come on, we have 5 more minutes. They, all right, our friends will be waiting for us at KLCC. So you know that after 12 o'clock, before 12 o'clock, people are not going to wait for you. All right. But if, let's say, you are still waiting for the bus at 12 o'clock or 12:10, all right, you know that your friends in KLCC are waiting for you. So you say, come on, they will be waiting for us. So the idea of waiting is in the future. All right, in the future, the idea is that even though you don't write it in the sentence, because we look at the bigger context with the conversation. There must be a reason why you say they will be waiting for us. So even though you don't have it, it's okay. All right. But if let's say you don't have any other context, this is your first statement. This is your only statement. They will be waiting for us. You need to put time expression. They will be waiting for us for 2 hours. All right. Okay. I hope I will be feeling better tomorrow. I hope I will be feeling better tomorrow. So the future is tomorrow. All right. It can happen anytime tomorrow. But the feeling of being better is ongoing. All right. It's ongoing. When you say this, I hope I will be feeling better tomorrow. Maybe in the morning, you are now in the morning, tomorrow morning, you're still not okay. You're still having fever, but in the afternoon, you're getting better. You're getting better, and then in the evening, right, you're getting even better. At night, there is a duration of the process of feeling better. All right, the next 2 more people. Yes, no. Let's have a 2 minutes break. All right, and after that, we'll come back. All right, let's grab everything that you want. 2 minutes, people. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Please come back to your gadgets or your devices. Okay, we're going to go to future perfect and future perfect continuous. All right, you can also look at page 63 and also your notes here. Okay, people. So let's go to future perfect. Now, when it says future perfect, all right, in some books they say future perfect simple. It's the same thing, yeah. So future perfect here means future perfect simple. All right. When do we use future perfect or future perfect simple? It is used to describe an action that will have been completed at some point in the future. All right, the keyword here is completed, hence the word perfect. So here, all right, this is used to describe an action that has been or will have been completed. There will always be a time expression. Okay, there will always be a time expression telling us when the action is completed. Okay, is completed. So we need to look at the time frame and also the sentences later to better understand. But before that, let's have a look at how you can write future perfect. You need to have will have, okay, will have plus past participle. Will have plus past participle. Okay, let's look at a few examples. The rain will have stopped. Okay, you have the will have and stop here, all right, is past participle. Now remember, even though stopped here looks like it's past tense, but this is not past tense. This is past participle. We're talking about future event here. Okay, what would determine would be the first part here. You see this, will have, you know that we are talking about future. Okay, we're talking about future. So will have stopped before the game starts. Okay, the time expression here would be before the game starts. This is a time expression. Okay, so what does it mean? The rain will have stopped before the game starts. What will it mean? Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look at the time frame. This is the time frame, and here I put the word stopped. This is where the action, all right, the action, okay, in this sentence, the rain, all right, the rain will have stopped. So at the moment of speaking, this is the moment of speaking. This is when you say it, right? Ali, the rain will have stopped before the game starts. So you say it here, all right? And at this time here, you know it's raining. You know the rain is here, all right? And throughout this part here, all right, you know that it would be raining. Okay, it would be raining. Now, the stop here, down here, this is when the game starts. This is when the game starts. Okay, this part here. This part here is when the game starts. This whole part here in the future will be when the game is played. All right, they have started the game, and this is where they play. This part here would be when it rains. Okay, you don't know when it rains, but you know one thing, that the rain, all right, from here, all right, going here, the rain will stop here. The rain will stop here, or maybe before that, but it will happen here. All right, it will happen here. It will happen here. So here the rain may start. The rain may have become heavier. The rain may have become lighter here, and the rain may also have stopped. Whatever it is, the rain, the moment before the game starts, the rain will be no more. The rain will be no more. Okay, so the difference here would be there is a time expression telling when, all right, the action will stop. When the action will stop. Let's have a look at the second example. I will have graduated by July. By July. I will have graduated by July. So if you look at the time expression, okay, the time expression, this stop here is July. Okay, this stop here is July. And this person says, I will have graduated by July. That person says it here. Right? Says it here in the present. So let's say in the present here, this is May. And then you have another one here in the middle here, June. Okay? So this person says this right now in May. All right? And then the stopped, all right? The stopped here would be in July. So when it says, I will have graduated by July, in May, this person is still a student. Okay, this person is still a student. From May to June, from May to June, June to July, throughout this part here. All right, throughout this part here, when the person says, I will have graduated by July, meaning this person, you can graduate in any time during this period, May to July. Okay, May to July. It can happen here. It can happen in June that the person graduated. It can happen in mid-May or in mid-June. It can happen in any time during this period. Whatever it is, that will stop by July. By July. So for that, you say, I will have graduated by July. When? Don't know. But it should be by July. Okay? After July, you are not a student anymore. All right? After July, after this stop sign here, in the future, July, you are no longer a student. Okay, let's look at the other one. Jenny will have cooked dinner before you get home. Jenny will have cooked dinner before you get home. All right? So when you get home, all right, the stop here, this is when you get home. All right, in the future, when you get home, dinner is already on the table. Okay, dinner is already on the table. When would Jenny finish cooking? Somewhere in this period. From the moment of speaking to the moment when you get home. Right? It could happen here, it could happen here, it could happen here. But that is not the case because the focus of the sentence is when you get home, dinner is already on the table. All right. Okay, we're done with future perfect tense. Perfect because the action will be completed at some point in the future. All right. When, you need to refer to the time expression. The time expression will tell us when that time in the future will the action stop. Okay, I'm moving on to the last one. Please bear with me. Future perfect continuous. Future perfect continuous. All right. Now, you have the word perfect. You have the word continuous. Meaning, you have both now. When this is used for an ongoing action that will be completed at some specified time in the future. If you look at future perfect just now, you know that the action will happen somewhere here, but you don't know the duration. Okay? So if you go to future perfect continuous, if I were to write it, you know that there is a duration. There is a duration. You don't know when it will start, but you know when it's going to stop. Okay? You don't know when it's going to start, but you know when it stops. And you know there is a duration. Okay? If you look at Jenny will have cooked dinner before you get home, you don't know the duration. Unless you put duration in the sentence. All right, let's look at a few examples of future perfect continuous. All right. Now, for this, the action will continue up to a specific time in the future where it will stop. Okay, just like I said, you know the duration, and then you will also know when it will stop. Okay, how you write it? You have to add the word been. Okay, so will have, right? Will have been plus verb ing. Okay, this part here makes it continuous. Okay, this part here makes it continuous. Let's look at an example here. I will have been playing for 2 hours by breakfast. I will have been playing. Please remember the context of the situation, and also please do not forget the formula, all right, on how to write it. So I will have been playing for 2 hours by breakfast. If you look at the one in yellow, what is this? What does it tell us? Put it in the chat room, people. These both are time expression. But what does it tell us this? For 2 hours. What does it mean? Yeah? For 2 hours? What does it tell us? Because we have two different time expression here. We have for 2 hours, and then we have the one in green, by breakfast. So what does it mean for 2 hours? What does it mean by breakfast? Yes, anyone? Yes, anyone? No one? For 2 hours tells us about? No, not after breakfast, Nasrul. By breakfast means before breakfast. No, it's not during breakfast. The word by here means before breakfast. It's not during breakfast, it's not after breakfast, yeah? The word by here means before breakfast. When it's time for breakfast, this person will stop playing. Right? So for 2 hours means this is talking about duration. This time expression tells us the duration. How long? All right? By breakfast tells us when his action of playing will end or will stop. So if you look at the time frame, okay, just like the one that I showed earlier, this is where it will stop. All right, stopped. It is where it will stop. All right, and you have the duration. This is duration. You don't know when it's going to start, but you know when it's going to stop. Okay, and the duration is mentioned in the sentence. So you know that he will be playing, right, from here to here, 2 hours. Right, and then he will stop when it comes to breakfast. All right, and this is taking place in the future, people. This is taking place in the future. Without the duration, if the duration is not mentioned, then this will be future perfect. Right? Because they only mention the time when it will stop. But if they mention both duration and also the time when it stopped, now it becomes future perfect continuous. Let's look at the second word here, as the second sentence here. We will have been cleaning the house for 5 hours before they come back. All right, we will have been cleaning the house for 5 hours before they come back. So this is telling us the duration, 5 hours, right, before they come back. When the moment they come back, the action has taken place for 5 hours. Okay, the action have, you know, when I say the action stop here, all right, it can mean, all right, if let's say I will have been playing for 2 hours by breakfast, it can mean that even after breakfast or during breakfast, this person will still be playing. All right, the focus of the stop here would be the time, meaning by breakfast, I have been playing for 2 hours. Okay, by the time they come back home, they have been cleaning the house for 5 hours. Maybe they continue cleaning after that. All right, but the focus is when they come back, the action here has been ongoing for 5 hours. Okay, let's see. They will have been driving for a while by the time they arrive in Ipoh. For a while shows duration. All right, for a while shows duration. Now we can see that if you have the word for, all right, you have the word for, okay, you have the word for, that is a sign that you are now talking about duration. They will have been driving for a while by the time they arrive in Ipoh. All right, so what can that be? It means they will be driving for maybe a few hours, maybe for a few minutes. All right, and then when they arrive at Ipoh, all right, they have stopped driving. Of course, they haven't arrived in Ipoh, they stopped driving if Ipoh is their destination. All right, so this is past, this is future perfect continuous. Okay, I will share this with you in the group, inshallah. Let's have a look at your textbook. There is another extra on page 63, temporal. Temporal, people. You have learned temporal when you were in Form 3. All right, Unit 4 of your pulse. All right, Form 3. Sorry, not pulse. What is it? But it's in Unit 4. Temporals. What is temporals? Okay, everybody look at your textbook. Temporal would be the time expression. These are words, yeah? Words telling you about the time. when, before, after, until, one, by the time, all right? To talk about the future, you use temporal, all right? You use these words when you talk about the future, but you are writing your sentence in present tense, not in future tense. You don't use future tense, all right? You don't use will, you don't use going to, will have been, nothing. But still, you're talking about the future. Let's have a look at the example given in the textbook. All right. Let me show it here. I think it should be here somewhere. Temporals, temporals, temporals. Okay. Now, temporals. Let's look at this one. After he buys, okay, or he has bought. We just look at the word buy here. After he buys the new trees, he'll plant them in the garden. All right. So let's say in the situation, Abu and Ali, again, Ali wants to plant the trees. All right. Ali wants to plant the trees. Abu asks Ali, hey, hey, Ali, what are you going to do with the trees after you have bought them? Okay, meaning Ali hasn't bought the tree yet. So Ali says, well, after I buy the trees, I'll plant them in the garden. After I buy the trees, right? After I buy the tree, that is something that will happen in the future. I will plant them in the garden. That is also another phrase talking about the future. So when you use these temporals, you don't need to use after I will buy the trees. No, you just say after I buy the tree, okay, or after you marry me. If you want to use the word after, right? You talk to your boyfriend or girlfriend, say, hey, after you marry me, we will go to Paris, for example. After you marry me, you and I will go to Paris. That is future, eh? So that is temporal example, when you use after. Okay? Or use the word before. Before I punch you, you better run away. Before I punch you. When you say before I punch you, you don't say before I will punch you. That's wrong. But still, you use temporals before I punch you, you better run away. That is the future. You're not punching yet, but you say, before I punch you, you better run away. You can even make it into a sentence, into sentences. I will punch you. So, before I punch you, you better run away. Okay, clear people? Temporals. Okay. There are a few other examples there. When to use, how to use. Okay, it's 11:54. MashaAllah, taking a long time. Any question about the future tenses? Okay, Nashun says, can we use temporals in the beginning of the sentence? All right. Well, when it comes to essay writing, we don't really see temporals written in the beginning of the sentence. All right. Meaning they will always be another word before the temporals. All right. But when it comes to speaking, temporal as beginning of a sentence, that is normal. You can use temporal, right? Temporals as the first word, all right, for your sentence. When you are speaking, okay. But in writing, it's very rare to find people using temporals, unless if you are writing a story. Because in stories, you can have, temporals, because having temporals will create an effect, all right, that you want for your story, all right? So people use that. It's actually a technique in writing stories. You use temporals because it will create an effect, all right, that you want people. You can create suspense. Okay, it can create a lot of things in story, but in factual writing, article, report, people don't normally use. Okay, maksudnya. Okay, any other question? All right. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with some work. Yes, people, with some work. Alhamdulillah, we are able to finish 2 grammar items. Grammar 1 and grammar 2. I want you to do the exercise on page 61. Page 61, yeah. Help from above. Help from above. Now, for this one, you don't need to write the whole passage. No, don't write the whole passage. Just write me number 1, what is the answer? All right, like this one here. Shall we do or we will be doing? Okay, so just write the answers. Okay, so please do number 3. And then moving on to page 63, I want you to do number 3, number 4. Okay, number 3 and number 4. Clear? Clear? Plus, please complete vocabulary 2 on page 61. Sorry, 62. Okay, so it will be exercises on page 61, 62, 63. Okay, this is going to be a work for the grammar on page, on page 63. All right, you can just simply write the answers. You don't need to write the whole thing. Okay, just write the answers all, even for vocabulary 2 as well. Okay, people, it's already 11:59. Any last question? I can take any last question from you. Any last question?
No, sir.
All right, Shakira. Sorry, Siti Aisha. Sounds so different. Okay. Let me check. Ifas, are you with us? Ifas?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's a full house today. Alhamdulillah. So I'll see you again next week, inshallah. And as I promised, I'll share with you your score. You just have to accept whatever result that you're getting. All right. So I wish you all the best. Stay safe. We are actually getting news about a lot of MRSN students, our MRSN students and grade students. They have been they have been getting, or they are under quarantine for COVID-19. We even have one of your friends, you know who that person is. He's under quarantine. Please take good care of yourself, yeah, because you are all unvaccinated people, right? You are unvaccinated people, so please take good care of yourself. All right. I, on the other hand, will be on my way to MACD Kuala Kangsar. It has been a long time. All right. So I'll see you again. With that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.